Yeah. It's on.
Good afternoon, Ron.
Good afternoon, you haven't started the meeting yet.
Just see her.
We're waiting for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'll call this meeting of Seneca County Commissioners to order for Wednesday, December 27th. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, how about a short prayer? Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day. We thank you for the season that we just have been going through. We ask that you watch over those families, those men and women who are protecting our freedoms and their families. We ask all this through your Son. Amen. Roll call.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Here.
Commissioner Thomas? Commissioner Stacy?
Here.
Okay, I'll accept the motion to approve the audio video recording of the last board session from December 21st.
So moved.
I will second. Roll call it.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas? Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes. Adjustments to the agenda. I'm going to talk about, I think that we want to put some time aside for talking about the drug court situation in Seneca County and also some potential storage solutions. Those would both be under new business. Any other old business? Okay, we'll begin with new business. We have with us our esteemed Common Pleas Judge Shuff. I think he has a little bit of an update for us for the regarding the Seneca County Drug Court. Is that true?
I can, I would.
I'd appreciate it if you let us know what's up.
Well, there's people asking what's going on with the Drug Recovery Court. You're going to have some resolutions approving the grant from the state of Ohio, Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections, which is a reinvestment grant. But there's been a lot of things going on. And so I thought I'd update you. Probably most of you know, we created a Seneca County Opiate Task Force back in 2015, mid-2015. The Opiate Task Force meets monthly out the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board. We have a wide group of people that are involved and are there every month. We have the Health District involved, Job and Family Services, Adult Parole Authority, County Prosecutor, all the courts, all the judges, the Seneca County Drug Task Force. One of the commissioners is usually there, Mr. Kirschner. The sheriff is there, Fostoria Police Department is there, Tiffin Police Department's there, Fostoria Hospital, Firelands Counseling and Recovery Services, Oriana House, Rigel Recovery Services, the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board. We have a Reverend Stephanie Little representing the spiritual community. We have others. I probably have left out somewhere when I put this together, but there's a wide group that talks monthly about the issues involved with the opioid crisis that is going on not only in Seneca County, state of Ohio, throughout the country. And the issues are not simple. The issues involve sometimes mental health issues, sometimes they deal with employment issues, sometimes they deal with all kinds of issues that go on with these people that use opiates and that sell opiates. So we are attacking it in Seneca County vigorously, and part of the way we attacked it was first created the task force to look at educational things, where you'll see billboards, where you'll see crisis hotlines. We have training on Narcan and so forth, but also how we take care of it through the court system, since it seems like the bottom line sometimes is the court system. That's where it ends up. So first of all, earlier this year we received a grant of $47,686 to do mental health assessments. What we find is many of the people that are using opiates and other illegal substances have a mental health issue that they're self-medicating. So early on in a case, we receive a mental health assessment on them so we can create a plan for them that will address some of the mental health issues that they may have. So we're using that grant to assess people early on in a case and use that as it goes through the court process. We received a grant in September from the state of Ohio for over $270,000 to allow the sheriff's office to increase their community corrections and to keep felony 5 people here locally more who are nonviolent, non-sex offenders, who are users of drugs. Prison does not solve the problem for people that are addicts. Just does not solve it. We need to address it, and one of the ways to address it is to take care of it locally as best we can. The prison system does not want felony 5s, which is the lowest grade felony. So we've our portion of the grant, we split it with the sheriff's office. We're hired through Oriana House, not through us, the county, but Oriana House hired a drug intensive probation officer. We call it DIPO. It doesn't sound good, but that's what it is DIPO, Drug Intensive Probation Officer. And that Oriana House has hired Ron Green, who you're probably all familiar with. Ron was a deputy sheriff and had worked out the state hospital. And he's been hired by Oriana House and will start first of the year. And we will take felony 5s and put them on a very intensive monitoring supervision. Not every felony 5, but the ones we feel, then Mr. Green will monitor them, look at transportation issues, housing issues, employment issues, drug testing, all kinds of things. And of course, we always have jail. It isn't like they go scotch-free. We're just not sent to prison. We can still send to jail for incarceration. Recently, and you have it before you, we received a grant from the state of Ohio for $467,802 for the new Pivot Drug Recovery Court. And the Pivot Drug Recovery Court is a collaborative effort of both common pleas courts, judges, and the Tiffin Fostoria Municipal Court judge. Pivot will be operate with 3 caseworkers and a specialized probation officer. So this will include more than felony 5s. This will include people that might be coming out of prison, people doing intervention in lieu of conviction, could be people on community control. It also could be felony 4s or other higher felonies as the case may be. Again, the Drug Recovery Court is a volunteer thing. They have to ask to get in the program. And there's a participation agreement where they give up all kinds of rights to participate in this program. They give up, for example, the right to due process, the right to remain silent, the right against self-incrimination. They give up the right for unlawful search and seizure. We can go in their house at any time and search, or their cars, and other things. So they must sign this agreement. There's program description, there's handbooks, depending on what track they're on. We have 2 tracks, tracks 1 and 2. It's all explained in the program. The judges have spent many hours, days, putting that together. We went and visited other programs throughout the state. We put ours together. So this grant we'll hire Oriana House, who will come up with 3 caseworkers and a specialized probation officer. Drug Recovery Court will meet at least weekly, and one of the 3 judges will be handling that. To do this, we had to get a law passed. We went to the Supreme Court in March, and the Supreme Court says there's jurisdictional issues between misdemeanors. Pivot will handle misdemeanors as well as felonies, all dealing with drug abuse and substance abuse issues, opiate issues. So we, with the assistance of Representative Bill Reinke, he proposed House Bill 354, which went to committee, Criminal Justice Committee. It passed 11-0 there, went to the whole House in November, and it passed the whole House, Ohio House, 91-0. So it was unanimous of those that were there. The bill will allow the very first multi-jurisdictional drug recovery program in the state of Ohio. It's never been allowed, it's never been done, because county police court or constitutional courts, municipal courts, or statutory courts. So there's a line in what we're doing with this law is allowing us to put one drug recovery court. And then the most exciting stuff, we just received a grant through Orienta House with Cooperation Orienta House, and it was only one of 10 in the whole United States in 2017, to train 18 members in adult drug court planning initiative. And this program is administered by the National Association of Drug Court Professionals, and we have our team put together, which will include Judge Rep, Judge Kelly, and myself, and others, and we will be doing training quite a bit over the next 6 months. So that's kind of attached to your thing is all the letters we've received from the community backing the Pivot Drug Recovery Court that we used for the grant application, as well as the statute, House Bill 354. House Bill 354 needs to go to the Senate. Senator Burke was pushing forward with it. We hope to pass it in January, so we can start up in February. It will be very convenient when we're all in the same building, so this is just another collaborative effort as a result of being located in the same building, and we'll just decide which floor we're on for drug recovery court. So I'll be glad to answer any questions any commissioners have or anyone else may have as to what's been going on. We've got resolutions for you to, we've got the contracts prepared that would allow Seneca County through you, since we don't have the power to contract in this, to hire Orienta House to do that, what I've mentioned. TCAP will be one specialized probation officer, drug intensive probation officer, depot, and the other one is 3 caseworkers and a specialized probation officers. So with that, we'll have 5 more people to assist us. And not just common police court, but also municipal court. And the grant we just received to do the training now opens up federal funding possibilities. We needed to do the training to allow us to go through the BJA and others in the federal government for funding. Because we can't keep asking the state all the time, we'll need to go to the federal government. None of these people are county employees. That's a good side for you folks. They're Orienta House employees, but they'll be working with the courts.
Well, Judge, I have to commend you and your fellow judges on the leadership and the drive for this. I can remember having a conversation with you about 4 to 5 years ago when we were talking about the Justice Center becoming reality. And your passion and drive because of what that would do for a program like this that you guys are dreaming of, working on, driving for then, becoming reality is exciting, and it's important for all the citizens of Seneca County that addressing this issue, but being in a leadership position for the state of Ohio because of these efforts.
Yeah, this is the first one in the state of Ohio.
Is phenomenal. So.
And you can see the support for it down in Columbus, that they really like the idea. Because right now, in a way, we have 3 different drug recovery courts. I operate my own, Judge Kelby operates his own, Judge Rep operates his own. But as we tell everyone, in a small rural county, they're the same people many times over. Mm-hmm. And they're the same issues. And it's definitely the same drug.
Yeah.
It isn't a different drug in municipal court than it is in common police court. It's the same drug. And Pivot will not only be opiate, but it will also be other drugs. It will expand it because of the number of people we have. So it will be opiates, but it also could be cocaine, or it could be meth, it could even be alcohol. So it just depends on the judge deciding which ones, and the people deciding if they want to participate. It's a very detailed program that requires you to, before you can go on to the next step, to do certain things.
Sure.
And if you don't, then you step down or you're kicked out of the program.
We appreciate you taking the initiative, but God bless you on behalf of the county.
Thank you.
According to my calculations, there's more than $800,000 in 2017 in grants.
That's correct.
Thank God there were some ways to fund that. It didn't come from the county, but it came from the hard work of those people applying for it. Unfortunately, we all have a friend or a relative or know someone who's either died from or overdosed in Seneca County. And admitting the problem is a good step towards getting it resolved, and you guys have done that very well. So we appreciate your hard work.
Our county is very fortunate. We have one of the lowest overdose deaths rate in the state. I'm not saying why, I don't know why. Do we have them? Yes. Last year, I think we had 8. That compares very favorably to other counties around us, in fact. So is 8 too many? Absolutely. But we are fortunate that our rate isn't higher, and I think it's because of a collaborative effort of every organization named, and probably a few I haven't, I forgot about, but they're all actively involved, and it's not one person, it's
Yeah, and again,
it's
I
a
think
village.
Right, admitting that there was a problem a number of years ago, and then putting up a good offense, I think contributed to that.
Yeah, 2.5 years ago, we all went down to Columbus to the symposium and put together the task force. So it's been a process, 2.5 years. A lot of it takes a lot of time, as you folks know, and everything, and it's been ongoing. It isn't like all of a sudden everything showed up in 17. There was a lot of planning in 15 and 16.
2.5 years is lightning speed for a lot of things.
Yeah.
For this, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
you got resolutions. I
Thank
would ask
you.
for your passage.
Okay.
Do you want me to go ahead and read those?
Do you have, yeah, go ahead, let's do that. Sure.
I have a resolution approving the contract service agreement with Oriana House for TCAP on behalf of the Seneca County Common Police Courts. I have a resolution approving the contract service agreement with Oriana House for the Pivot on behalf of Seneca County Common Police Courts. And I have a resolution authorizing the agreements for the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction Subsidy Grant for the Justice Reinvestment Incentive Grant on behalf of the Seneca County Common Police Courts.
Okay, I'll accept the motion to pass those resolutions.
So moved.
And I will second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas? Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Okay, next topic, storage. It's a fun topic. As we know, the clock has began to tick now because 81 Jefferson Street, we now have 6 months to remove storage items from that building as per our agreement. So, we're looking at some other solutions. I don't want to really name any specific buildings or name any specific properties, but I guess I'd kind of like to have a discussion about what we could do or what would be acceptable as a Board of Commissioners to do. As I see it, we basically have 3 choices, probably have more than 3 choices. To find a building that is suitable for an archival center and a storage center someplace within the county, to build a building that would be suitable for an archival center and a storage facility, or to do nothing and tell the electeds to find some place to put their stuff. Those are basically the solutions that I see. I have talked to a couple of property owners within a block of the Justice Center who are willing to, none of them want to lease anything, they all want to sell. So we have a couple of buildings that are within walking distance. The problem is that, again, the clock is ticking and we'd have to start the process of either doing a inspection of the building or make a decision as to which one we're interested in. And not signing any agreements, but at least starting the process. So I'll let you give your thoughts about any of that. I'm trying to be as vague as I can.
I was gonna say, we would be able to have an executive session to discuss potential purchase of any property.
Sure.
And I guess to protect those maybe who are contacting you to offer up at this point in time,
Right.
we'd have to do that. And I don't know if you have a desire to do that today or to when Commissioner
Well,
Thomas is
again,
present.
I've asked Commissioner Thomas to give his thoughts to Stacy.
Okay.
So maybe we will do that later on. I just kind of wanted to get a sense as to what direction. You know, is there a strong desire to build another building for purposes of storage? Is there a strong desire to try to find something close to the Justice Center? Would the preference be to move it out, you know, near the county buildings? Do you have any thoughts?
I guess I hope that the amount of space we will need up front, short term, or more immediately, is a diminishing size. You know, that over time, as we get addressing they get time to go back to those older records and get them digitized and sorted through, and whatever goes away that we need less storage for, so that space is, you know, we need so many thousand square feet now, we're gonna need less than that over time. Obviously, a lease would be attractive for that purposes, but if that's not an option, then I guess we have to weigh if you can't find a lease, that's one thing. If you find a lease and weigh that against the cost of a building, and would we have it, as much as I don't not like the thought of more rooftops and things that we're maintaining, but if it's something that we would see the ability, once we're completed with, and if it's the economy of scales makes sense as much as a lease does, and we can then sell the building, I guess that's a possibility. We've got to do something with it. I think that the third, as you mentioned, that I think probably least desirable on your mind as well, I'm not going to speak for you, but is to tell the elected officials just find somewhere for it.
Yeah, no.
I don't think that's really what we want to do, and
No,
I
it's
think
not, but, you know.
worst case scenario, that's but we don't want to do that. So I guess we would need to go into discussions on thoughts somebody's presented to you, things you've heard, if we want to look at the purchase of something. Like I said, I'd love to have a lease agreement somehow, because I think it's a diminishing thing, and if we could have that be a very short-term lease, then we stay on top of getting it addressed and keeping that space need, driving it down, and then being done with the lease versus a purchase and then owning another building that we need to take
I
care
absolutely
of.
agree with you. I think the second alternative to the lease, the second most desirable, would be to find something that has some real market value, and it could be, as you say, once the storage needs were diminished, could be resold, and hopefully recover our money there.
Yeah, so I guess depends what those are. As far as the location, I do think, in best interest of the parties that need to get into those records and so forth, sure, they would like it to be close. If long-term we ended up to the point of building something, and it was encompassed with the records retention center as well as that storage, and if it is further out, I think we'd ask everybody who wouldn't have that need and access to that building to be very open-minded about that, and we establish, like, this is just down the road, it's on the radar, but it's down the road, where they would have some hours, so that they can at least, relieve their staffs of that, everybody coming in at any point in time, 3 times in one day, different people coming in to see records, and having to run somewhere that's not across town or downtown, that they run across town, south of town or something, that we could have hours for that. So I think we could be very open-minded about the possibilities of how something like that would work to everybody's benefit. Certain hours that there's somebody there, certain days of the week, whatever that might be. But again, that's a little more long-term, and we're gonna need more of an immediate solution.
I just try to keep the ball rolling, because I know, we're on the clock now, so,
Yeah, absolutely.
okay.
We'll put that on the agenda for the 8th. We'll bring it up again, we'll put it on executive for purchase of property. If you wanna bring it up again next week.
Yeah, we'll do an executive today, so I can bring Commissioner Stacy up to date on it,
Okay.
and then make certain that Commissioner Thomas is aware of what's going on.
Okay.
Okay, any other old business? Any other new business? I guess we do old business. Any other new business besides the resolutions and appropriations? Why don't we start those?
Okay. I have an appropriation adjustment within the VOCA expansion grant fund. She's moving $1,401.44 hospitalization to workers' comp. I have a supplement to the permanent appropriations to the Medicaid Transitional Aid Fund, putting $301,517 into the transfers outlined.
That's the portion for 17.
That is the portion for 17. So we are doing a fund transfer from the Medicaid Transitional Aid Fund to the general fund, in the amount again of $301,517.
What did that do to our final number?
In the transitional fund? Is that what you
And
mean?
the total operating income for,
I was in a budget commission today, so I don't know what their final number for,
we were kicking around between 17 and 18. I just wondered where that
Yeah.
ended up. Okay.
I have an annual appropriations resolution for the Wolf Creek Petition Ditch Fund, beginning January 1st, 2018, and ending December 31st. We just needed $255,000 in contract services. This is for the budget for next year for that project. I have annual appropriation resolution for the Community Corrections Fund, 1181, beginning January 1 and ending December 31st. Again, this was a budget that was off of the ones we did last week. They're putting total in $74,548. And then I have a resolution authorizing the agreement contract with Maximus Consulting Services, cost allocation services of fiscal year 17, 18, and 19. Those are all I have.
Okay, I'll accept the motion for approval.
So moved.
I will second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas? Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes. Okay, the time has come for public comment. Yes, Ron?
Yes, I have a question, a comment first, though, for Judge Schuff. I think the opiate task force is doing tremendous work. I know they're working very hard at trying to solve the problem. And even though Bloomville is out of our Review Times readership area, I have other reasons for asking this. But can you tell me if any determination has been made about why so many of these heroin overdose deaths have been in Bloomville?
I cannot. I cannot tell you why.
All but one or two of those heroin overdose deaths were in the village of Bloomville.
Yeah, I cannot tell you why. Perhaps the director of the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board could give you better information on that. He collects the statistics and shares them with us. It is very difficult to know if it's an overdose death or it's a suicide. I know that sounds very strange, but sometimes it is a mental health issue that is a suicide that has been is suicide by heroin. And I cannot tell you of 8 overdose deaths, let's say, which is which. Very difficult. Perhaps Michelle Andrew could give you more information on why.
Okay.
I do not know.
Thank you.
I do know there are pockets where it has occurred more than others, areas.
And I recognize that Seneca County's heroin overdose death is below the state rate, but last time I did the math for the police department in Bloomville was like 40 to 60 times the state per capita overdose death rate, heroin overdose death rate, and, you know, obviously a big problem.
Obviously, you know, when you see that statistic, yes. But I
Thank you.
can't answer that with any, I can speculate, I can guess, but I don't have an answer.
Can you tell me if there are any concerted efforts to, you know, as far as in the Bloomville area, about anything that can be done to, you know, over what you're already doing, I mean?
Yes, but I'd rather not say.
Sure, I understand, I understand.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'm not trying to be evasive.
No, I understand, it says you can't discuss. Thank you.
Yes,
Brian Shaver, Councilman at Large, Fostoria.
welcome Brian to the
Council.
Commissioners meeting, yeah.
Just wanted to return the favor. I know we were visited by the council, the commissioners a few years ago. I don't get that much time off during the day. I'm on break from school right now, so I thought I'd come over and see the meeting. I did have a piece of business that I talked with Commissioner Kirschner before the meeting, and I think we're on the process to get that cleared up, or at least in the right path. So thank you for your service and happy holidays.
You're welcome anytime, Brian, thank you. Thank you. Yes, Thomas?
About the storage building.
Yeah, you got a good idea?
I've expressed my thought before. I think you should build a building right here behind the maintenance, a block building with a peak metal roof and a few block windows in it and a lot of insulation so you can climate control it. And I don't think it has to be that large because of what Stacy just
Yeah.
said.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. Yes, Ron?
One more question now. Mr. Shaver, can you elaborate as to what that piece of business is?
I had just acquired some new property and was looking at different options to do things with that property.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other
How about Lady Justice?
Lady Justice, she's all done and sitting there waiting to be shipped, right?
Well, I don't know, that's what.
Yeah, we have pictures that show.
I saw the pictures, but did the design get approved? They were waiting on approval of the design.
I don't know that.
I don't know.
You talking about because of the base?
Well, the pictures were sent saying, has this been approved? And I didn't want the judges to approve it, though.
Oh.
We do have a little.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize
say
there was
in
a
it.
question on
I
that.
didn't,
She's
yeah.
ready-
If
she's
you
ready
read
for
the
a
email,
fight.
they're asking for approval before they ship it.
Okay.
Okay.
So maybe you as chair,
Yeah,
president,
there you go.
and I and Tom Potts get together on that.
That's fine. I'm happy to.
So
see
that
it.
we give them the approval, because I think they were waiting on, does this look good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it looked good.
We want to make sure there's
Right.
no more cover-ups.
Not going there. And just to give you an update on the Lady Justice Fund, in the GoFundMe, or Fund Me Go, or whatever it's called,
Go You were right the first
got
time.
it, yeah.
there's over $16,000 now.
Awesome.
There's over $4,000 with the Bar Association, so over $20,000's been raised. I'm well aware of another 5,000 to 6,000 coming in early January. They were waiting on a new calendar year for whatever purposes, but we're on our way for 30,000 for sure, perhaps more.
Perfect.
So just wanted to give you an
Is she
update.
paid for yet, or are we still indebted?
We have the last payment yet.
Okay.
Which you
Yeah, I
probably
think they
need to
did.
advance and then get reimbursed
Yeah, we will,
by.
but-
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because I thought it maybe had said something about once that was received, they'd, or acknowledge that it's coming, whatever, they would arrange the
Transfer.
shipment, the transportation, get her a bus ticket, plane ticket, whatever.
So they want paid in full before we see her here?
There was, I don't know if it said that or just confirmation.
They
on the
want
final
payment
statements.
before they ship.
But I know it was too, I know they
I
said
think that's what the email
they
said.
would make the plans on the, shipping and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we've inspected her more than once,
Yes, we did.
the clay model and the final, so. Okay, any other business to brought before this board? We will,
Tanya just brought me in a resolution, they
Oh.
must be cleaning up year end, and I have an appropriation adjustment within the public assistance fund. They're moving $8,900 from workers' comp to salary admin.
do we need to stay in session in the event there's any more adjustments for the year?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I think they had all of them covered. Well,
I'll move to accept the resolution as presented.
I will second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Stacy,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas, Commissioner Kirschner.
Yes. Okay, we will
Gonna go to executive
go
session.
into executive session.
I'll move, we go to,
I second. Roll call.
for the purposes of property.
Purpose of property, potential property purchases.
Say that 3 times.
Commissioner Stacy,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas, Commissioner Kirschner.
Yes. I promise you, there will be no action taken.
Okay,
If there is, we'll call you.
okay,
There
sounds
won't
good.
be. Out of this one, unless something else comes up.
No.
Do you want to call me later and we'll get Mr. Potts on the